What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about Fortnite's newest hotfix update, which completely changes Season 4 by vaulting the jetpack. As always, if you guys do find this video to be helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you think of this change. So, earlier this afternoon, about an hour ago as of the time I'm recording this, Fortnite actually removed the War Machine hover jets or jetpack from the loot pool entirely, so it is no longer a part of the game. And the Shuri claws, which were recently unvaulted for the Fortnitemares update, or which were recently vaulted for the Fortnitemares update, got unvaulted. So Shuri claws are back, jetpack is gone, and I'm sure if you guys have been playing a lot during the course of Season 4, you know this is an incredibly significant change. Not only has the War Machine hover jets been the kind of best mobility item in the game ever since it was added, it really enabled a lot of the other playstyles. I feel like the Iron Man gloves got a lot better because of the jetpack. I feel like the auto turret got a lot better because of the jetpack, with people being able to constantly, you know, dash around and move around and be slippery and difficult to hit while their auto turret just chips you down. You know, Captain America shield, same thing. Somebody on the ground with the Captain America shield is not nearly as much of a threat as somebody jetpacking around with it, throwing it, and also having the auto turret. So despite trying to nerf it so many times, the jetpack still remained kind of the meta, and vaulting it, I think, was a good change. Obviously, it was a fun item to use. It was definitely made the game fast-paced, but I feel like it kind of ran its course and kind of enabling a lot of these other playstyles I thought was kind of frustrating, most notably the Iron Man gloves. So the Iron Man boots are still in the game as a mobility item. The Witch's Broom is still in the game as a mobility item. The Shockwave Grenades is in the game. The chainsaw, and then obviously the Shuri claws, which just came back as well. So there is still a lot of mobility items in the game, but the game itself is going to change a lot. If I had to guess what I'm going to be using, I think the Shuri claws and the shockwaves are going to be my preferred two mobility items. But if I'm not able to find shockwaves, then Shuri claws and Witch's Broom will be a nice kind of two mobility setup as well. I think I will still be going towards double mobility. The update just came out, so we may have to see how things play out. But I think this is a very significant change. Like I've already said, it's going to change the mobility meta. Like a lot of these other mobility items become a lot more viable and a lot more sought after with the jetpack being gone. When the Fortnitemares update first came out, I saw they added some mobility items with like the chainsaw and the Witch's Broom, and I was like, I kind of wish they vaulted the jetpack so these items were relevant. And now with the jetpack being gone, I think they are a lot more relevant, even if they aren't, you know, the best mobility items in the game, in my opinion. I'm still going to probably be using them a lot more now than I was previously. And then playstyle-wise, I think a lot will change as well. Playing with the jetpack is a very different game than playing without it. So I feel like you do have to kind of not only relearn how to use these other mobility items, but learn how to play a fight that isn't just you jetpacking around and your opponent jetpacking around. Things are very different now. And like I already touched on, I think a lot of the other items, the Iron Man gloves, I feel like are not nearly as much of a problem with the jetpack being gone. I feel like what made the Iron Man gloves so good is like Iron Man gloves, auto turret, jetpack, and then the person just kind of flies around, is difficult to hit, and then, you know, chips you down over time with the Iron Man gloves and the auto turret. But in a more kind of grounded fight, I think the person using the Iron Man gloves is not going to be nearly as much of a problem to deal with, because the DPS of that item isn't the greatest. What made the Iron Man gloves so good was that, like, you could put minimal effort into aiming and then just be a nuisance with the jetpack and then eventually win the fight that way. But with the fights being more grounded, I think the Iron Man gloves are going to be much easier to deal with. You could still use them in the air if you use like Flowberry shockwaves and then shoot down with the Iron Man gloves, but I feel like this is less tilting to play against than the jetpack, because at least there's like somewhat of an end in sight. You know, if you outlast their shockwaves, then you're gonna eventually get a fight on your terms that's a lot more reasonable than them just constantly flying around. So I'm very happy with this change. I think that the game is going to be a lot more fun to play, and even if you are someone that really misses the jetpack, this season is going to be over in 19 days, I believe. Like, we are very, very, very close to the end of this season. So I feel like kind of shaking the game up and changing the meta up a bit and making it a bit more fresh for the final less than 3 weeks is a good idea, even if you are someone who really likes the jetpack. Just making the game different and fresh for this period of time and kind of giving room for some of the Fortnitemares items to be a little more relevant, I think is a good thing. And I have a lot of videos coming out later this week, kind of once I'm able to play more, what I think the best mobility items are, what I think the best loadout is, The wood stake shotgun is an interesting item that I was going to make a video on. I feel like with the jetpack playstyle, the wood stake kind of suffered because it was a weapon that didn't really thrive with that chaos. But now with fights being a little more grounded and slower, I could see the wood stake being a little more viable, even though it probably still won't be my preferred shotgun. Speaking of shotguns, I could see myself going back to the gatekeeper shotgun. A lot of why I liked the sovereign was because of the jetpack. And also, one final thing I want to add is that the green water or red water dashes that you can get in the underworld biome are going to be a lot better now because the jetpack is gone. With the jetpack in the game, everybody could kind of just emulate the movement of the dashes 24/7. But now if you have dashes in a fight and your opponent doesn't, you have a decent advantage in that fight for sure. Let me know what you think of this change down in the comments below, what you're most excited to see me make videos about with the jetpack being nerfed. I'm going to let some gameplay play out that I got on stream once the jetpack was removed. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, sub if you like some more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Dude, his auto turret is passionate. Okay, that one turned out to be real. Did that guy, like, not have the best auto turret of all time, or what, though? Like, he was looking back, beaming me as he was shockwaving away. That's why I'm, like... I go for the pickaxe trick a lot on people, and I enjoy using it, but when people say that it's, like, so broken and overpowered, I don't really know what they're talking about. Because, like, that guy just lost the game because he tried to do the pickaxe trick to me. And then he didn't get out fast enough when I got out. But, like, because he was, like, worried about doing the pickaxe, I feel like that's why he was, like, motivated to not get out. And then I end up beaming him for, like, so much more than he hit me for. And that was, like, a bad angle, too. Because the car was kind of, like, sloped, so I couldn't see him as well. If we were just on, like, flat ground, I would have gotten even more AR damage on him. It made the noise like I pinged somebody, but I do not know where they were. Like, I don't see them anywhere. I don't know. I'm, like, decently sure this final person is an AI, though. Like, if it's a 1v1v1 and you fight and don't get third-partied, it might not be an AI, but, like, with how long that fight was going and the size of the zone, I feel like they definitely would have gotten involved. Okay, right there, I did just try to jetpack. I don't think they're AI anymore. They're real. I think there's, like, yeah. We'll see if they try to do the pickaxe, too. Nice. Gave him high ground there. He, like, got way too confident. And then he's a free kill. Like, high ground is favored, but, like, I feel like I had a better angle on him than he had on me. And I don't know. Like, so many people feel like they have such an advantage in overpeak when they're on height.